This morning when I got up here, it was 15 degrees, so pretty cold. Today's warming up to about maybe 40. Not a good day to have 2 layers on. Need to have a good thick jacket. I was going to talk about something that I think is really important, and that is picking out your trees for what they are and learning all the species of trees that are on your property and learning which ones are looking like they could fall, which ones, especially right now as you go through the seasons, it's so important, because if you watch your piece of property all throughout the different seasons, you can really learn a lot. There are certain trees that it's very hard to specify what they are until the leaves come on them. And that's an instant way to cheat and just instantly know. You can look it up real quick, but just based upon the bark. So if you can watch those type of trees and know which one is a black oak. Up here we have a lot of different types of species of oaks. So some split really easily. Some will just absolutely kill your saw. When you get into a like a hickory or a shagbark hickory or something, they'll just absolutely kill your saw blade. For your chainsaw and for your sawmill. So that's something to definitely keep in mind. And then as soon as a tree comes down, it's best to get it split up into firewood and get it hauled over before it starts any type of rotting or decaying process. And because once it starts to do that, once it starts to actually get some of that junk on it, some mushrooms and stuff, that is no longer good for firewood whatsoever, minus what people will tell you. It's starting to just completely rot. And it will eat out stovepipe, it will mess up your stove, it will mess up your catalyst, it will mess up a lot of things. And so don't do that. Also, to know the areas of your property, especially because we've had so much rain, just an incredible amount of rain this last, really all of 2018, and starting off 2019 has been very, very wet. So keep in mind all your trees that are leaners, especially around wet areas, because they'll probably be falling. And like I've said before, it's best not to build around those areas. It's best to build on some kind of hump or some kind of rise, not in a flat area. Interesting story. When I first came up here to this property, this has been about 5 years ago, the spring that I have now wasn't flowing near as much, and I don't know if it's just opened up more since I've been working on it. I'm trying to open it up more, but there's also several areas that that we assumed were really, really good build areas, really pretty rocky areas, and on some of the absolute very wettest days in the last several years, those areas, if I had built something there, would have actually been over a spring and during the very, very wet time. So you got to be really careful. You need to go up and check out your property on the absolute, here's my phone, on the absolute best days and on the absolute worst days and the worst times and the coldest. So it's good to come up on very, very cold days, very, very wet. Don't stay away, because if that retreat you're working on is something really important and you actually might have to go there, you're probably going to have to go there during bad times, during a disaster, during some type of sketchy scenario. And probably won't be perfect sunny skies, beautiful weather, if you ever have to use that retreat for other than weekend vacation place. And every time you come up, every time you go to your place, take something with you. Every single time. Don't ever go without taking some type of supplies. Every time I go down into town, every single time, I always bring back supplies. Whether that be canning supplies, whether that be ammunition. When I leave, I like to take something with me as well, so that way I can work on something at my house on my spare time, something I can service, whether that's a gun that I need to clean, that I've sighted in. When I come back up, I bring stuff So I'm always changing and moving and keeping things in rotation. So that's very, very important. So don't waste any trips whatsoever. So